Hey guys, in this lesson, let's set up our computers, your Mac OS or your Windows PC in order to run PHP. So setting up our computer means basically, since this is web development, we do need two things. Number one is a code editor in order to create our websites. So code editor is just like a software, so for example, you can make websites using Notepad or text edit in macOS. It doesn't matter. You can just use the fundamental normal softwares to create websites. But if you're using a code editor, it makes your life a lot easier and better because there is code formatting. You can basically do like code suggestions, and it formats your code and it tells you there is an error in your code, so you can understand all those things better. So it's like using AI when you're coding. So that's why we're using a code editor. So I hope you're already familiar with code editors because you already know about HTML. If you don't, then let's download a code editor. Let's download a code editor called VS Code, which stands for Visual Studio Code. So just go Google and search for VS Code and go into this very first site. This is a code editor by Microsoft. But not just this, you can even download Sublime Text or Atom. Those are another famous code editors. This is also one of the biggest used code editors in the market, and just click on this download. I've already downloaded this code editor, so I'm not going to download this again. But once you download this, just install this normal process in Windows, macOS, it doesn't matter. And after you have finished this, simply go ahead and search for Visual Studio Code and open your code editor, and it will just get open just like this. And if you go here into code, and if you go into preferences, and if you go into color theme, you can change it into different color themes, and there are some other kind of preferences that you can just go through. I'm not going to get into that much, but at the same time I'm going to take a dark color theme because I ran a poll online and most of you guys said, teach in dark color theme, it's much easier to understand. Anyways, once you have the code editor, now you can create and run HTML files, run PHP files, scripts inside this code editor. But in order to run PHP is not like HTML. HTML is a front-end programming and PHP is a back-end programming. So this is a server side. So if you want to work with PHP, basically PHP runs on servers, yeah? PHP is a programming language that works on the back-end, which means it runs on servers. It runs on Amazon, it runs on shared hosting or whatever. But if we want to work with the inside of a computer, then we need to create that server environment inside of a computer. How can we do that? So in order to create that server environment in our computer, there are different applications, software that we can use in order to manipulate, get that effect. So that we can create our own little server inside our computer and then run it using localhost. Localhost is the local server that we can create. So in order to create that, you need to download a different software called XAMPP. So if you just go into google.com and search for XAMPP, XAMPP, you can download XAMPP. This is from Apache, open source software. If you just go inside apachefriends.org and then just go into XAMPP, you can download this. So also, XAMPP is for Windows PCs. That's the thing. So if you're on Windows, then simply go here and then download XAMPP. And you can download XAMPP for macOS as well. There are some other better versions or different versions of XAMPP that are specially curated for macOS. So for example, I would recommend you to go download MAMP, but XAMPP and MAMP, they just do the same thing. So what you can do is, if you're on macOS, just search for MAMP and you can download this solution. I personally like to use MAMP, and if I can show this to you, there you go. I have the MAMP Pro, and it's basically XAMPP, but the MAMP is done by a different guy, and okay, I have to use anyways. I have to use the administrator account. Anyways, since this course is taken by Windows guys as well as with macOS, I'm going to use XAMPP. But macOS people, MAMP is also a good alternative. So simply click on XAMPP for OS X and download it and install it, and let's see what we're going to do up to just afterwards. It is getting downloaded. Preparing to download. Great. Alright guys, I just waited for like 5 minutes. I don't know why, but it just says preparing to download. So I'm going to click on if your download doesn't start automatically, click here. I'm going to click on that little button, change this to SourceForge and macOS, XAMPP macOS. So I'm right here. Let's download the VM, virtual machine, because we need the complete XAMPP software other than just the installer. So virtual machine is we basically create that virtual environment, and now it's downloading. So let's wait until it's downloading like 400 megabytes, and let's wait and meet up after. So a virtual machine means we create the entire virtual server, right? So in order for us to do that, we need to download the entire software of XAMPP. And this is free, so let's just wait until this gets downloaded. Hey guys, so it is finally downloaded. I'm just gonna double click on this and I'm gonna open the... Did it not get opened? Oh, it got opened. Alright, so I'm gonna open XAMPP and let's try to now install this. Alright, so once you get this, in Windows you might have to go through installation process. In macOS, just drag it and drop it into applications folder and then put your password in. And once you have that, you're going to copy this into applications, and now you can open this XAMPP app. This is the entire bundle, as you can see. Let's just wait until this get copied. Alright, so once you have that, just go into Finder and now search for XAMPP, which should be way below. There you go, XAMPP, double click. Open it up. This seems to be the first execution of this software. Yes, it is. Therefore, enter the username and the password. Once you have that, initialize syntax. So which is really easy. This is how you create your own virtual server just inside your computer. And we call this localhost. And you can run this using your browser, and I'll let you know how that happens. So if you go here, there are a couple of buttons. You have something called services, you have something called network, you have something called volumes, blah blah blah. Nothing to worry about there. Let's just say start. Once you click on start, the status comes to green, and once that comes to green, that means it is running successfully. Now this is still trying to open, it is trying to still create your own server. So it may take a couple of seconds in order to do that, and sorry about that. Once you have done that, then these services are going to start. Now, as you can see, it is green and you have this IP address and it has started. Now, specifically if you want like database and all those services to run, you can start individual servers, but right now we don't have any of that. We're just trying to run PHP and that's it. If you want, these are different layers in terms of backend. So if you want to start them, you can simply click on start, but we're not going to do that. So this is right now we have created the server. How we can go there is if you just go here into your Safari and then search for localhost, and then also add here 8080. Alright, so how we're gonna open this up is if you just open Safari and then go into this IP address 192.168.64.2. If you just go into this IP address, as you can see, Apache gets opened up. But if this IP address is too boring for you, then what you can do is you can go here, go into network, and then say localhost 8080. This is just a mask. So you can mask your IP address with text, and if you just enable this, then now localhost, your server, your basic server that you just created, virtual server, will start working for this address. So the address is localhost:8080, and if you want this, you can enable that. And right now I'm going to simply say localhost -8080, not dash, colon. And if you click enter, it will load the same thing, and now this is simply localhost, not those specific network IP address, which is hard to remember. And yeah, there are a lot of things here in terms of applications. Here you'll get your websites. So this is the PHP version that is right now available, that we just installed this version 8.0, and which is the latest version in 2021, and a couple of other information. So anyways, we have successfully set up XAMPP. And where is the specific location in terms of folder wise where it is in our computer? So if you go to XAMPP, if you go to volumes right here, and if you say mount, if you say mount and if you click on explore, then this is where your XAMPP is at. This is where your XAMPP is at, and all these folders you can just, this is your virtual server. So your virtual server is just here 192.168.64.2. Go inside the LAMP folder, and then inside here there is a lot of folders here, and if you just go inside the htdocs folder, this is where we'll be creating websites, and this is what you see here, and this is where we'll be creating websites. In Windows though, this step is a little bit different. As you might already know, in Windows you might not have this opt/lamp. In Windows, if you go into C, in the C directory there would be a folder called XAMPP, not in program files, not in users, just simply in the C directory you will see a folder called XAMPP, and that's specifically where you install XAMPP when you're installing it. And if you go inside that folder, you will see all these folders, and in that go into htdocs and you see the same thing. So in Windows, that's the location. In macOS, you just simply go into this explore tab and then open the location. Alright, so once we have successfully set up both of these things, now we can really get started on creating PHP projects and applications. Let's do that in the next lesson.